They say time heals all wounds, but neglecting the point that the wound comes from time off of stretching a joint. Everything is crisscrossing incorrect at this point. Like how these pedophiles become blessed and anoint. Are they still pedophiles, indirect and discreet? And what about them killers who had respect on the streets? They say once upon a time he have you resting in peace. Now that same individual investing in peace. Then I watch my homegirl transform from a sweet wife after years of abuse to living a street life. And I never once judged her when things didn't seem right, cause I understood the dark times, even in screen light. But it was God's grace and mercy. That's why I speak about Jesus and protect my joy at all costs, so we keeping it peaceful.
Get on your feet, boy!
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
How about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. And we are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible. Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic puck cup.
organic.
Yes, everything organic.
Oh, say does that star spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free?
4, 3, 7. Oh, are you good? 4, 3, 2. Hold your chest lifted. We're gonna lift.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who mattered most.
Welcome to this week's edition of Keeping the Peace podcast. You rocking with Trinity Team 504 and my homegirl, Missy Love.
Hey guys.
All right, this week we about to get right into it, man. So the first discussion, and I want to know what you think as a woman and as a minority woman. So we all familiar with Druski. Remember he's been funny, but the last time he was under fire, he was mimicking the pastors, the false pastors, not the real ones, but all the mega churches, and he got flack for that. Well, he's back again a second time around, but this time he was mimicking Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk, and what he called conservative YT women. So, and her response was if she had done that in blackface, then she would be called a racist and banned. So I want to know what you think about the entire thing as well as her response.
I haven't seen that skit, but I think she's right. I agree with her. I do think it's double standard. Because if she definitely did the same thing, she would definitely be called racist.
All right, now I gotta
100%.
I gotta play both sides. I agree she would, but the stuff that the black people have endured, I'm gonna say that from slavery, all of the other stuff. So I don't want to harp on it because I'm a firm believer, and I hate when people play the race card, and it's not that, because you do have sometimes where racism plays a part, but a lot
Yeah.
of times people play wolf and they mess it up for the ones when it actually does happen. So I think she's absolutely right, but I also think she haven't endured the stuff that the black people endured in order for her to say that. But Druski funny, man. He make a skit out of everything.
I think he's funny, but it's just kind of like I'm really big on treat others the way you want to be treated.
Mhm.
So if you don't want people talking about your nationality, your race, your culture, don't do it to others. Same with gender and things like that. Um, just don't do it.
Okay.
Respect others, right? Treat others how you want to be treated. I'm really big on that. So I definitely agree with her.
Okay. So my second topic, I want to touch back because I was in Florida last week, man. Shout out to the homies, man. Showed me so much love. My partner Groove, who's working on his new book, by the way. We got that interview dropping soon. Shout out to the homie Gunplay. Everybody, man. Like, I got love from the top, bottom, left, right of Florida, man. So we didn't shoot last week. So I want to talk about the rapper Mystikal. He pled guilty.
And in other news tonight, Louisiana rapper Michael Tyler, better known as Mystikal, has pled guilty to a third-degree rape charge in Ascension Parish.
Now, this case stems from 2022 incident that led to an arrest in Prairieville. Now, Tyler has remained in custody without bond since then and now faces up to 20 years in prison. Louisiana First News reporter Ethan Good tells us more.
Well, rapper Mystikal has entered a guilty plea to third-degree rape charges in Ascension Parish. He now faces up to 20 years in prison. This case dates back to July 2022 when Ascension Parish deputies responded to a hospital after a reported sexual assault. Investigators later arrested Michael Tyler at his Prairieville home, where he has been held without bond ever since. At the time, Tyler pled not guilty to the charges, which also included domestic abuse. Tyler will be back in court on June 6th for sentencing. For now, reporting in studio for Louisiana First News, I'm Ethan Good.
Last week. So I want to talk about the rapper Mystikal. He pled guilty to a SA charge, man, third-degree rape. And the people are saying, now I don't like this because you know my stance on rappers that try to think they're guilty. I won't get into it. Those that follow my page know. So our group page is not for that. But I hate when they always try to get off because they're famous, you know, or they always got these different set of laws that they think the world and the laws don't apply to them. But he pled guilty, and then you had some of the bloggers saying the reason he pled guilty was because he was going to get a life sentence in Louisiana, which is true. So it's possible. But you didn't plead guilty just for that. You pled guilty because you were guilty. You felt there was enough evidence to convict you, in my opinion. Or
Well,
you was going to take your
I
chance
thought
and
the
try.
article said that he pled guilty because he had other greater charges that were going to give him a life sentence.
Right, it was going
So
to
I
be
guess
first
he,
degree. First
yeah.
degree is a mandatory life sentence in Louisiana.
So he
If
basically
you
took a
do
plea deal
right,
to say he was guilty. So say you're guilty to this, and this is what we're going to give you. So he got a plea
right.
deal.
hmm But the kicker is, so this is the real question. I just don't want to harp on, and again, this is not a bash Mystikal session, but I'm all for the advocates of the victims. That's me. I stand by that. I don't care what y'all say. So if y'all it's not okay, if somebody says no, the answer is no. I don't care if she's a stripper or a prostitute or y'all in a relationship and you think she don't have the right to say no. This is where I'm going with this question. So the reason people are saying that is because this lady he was in a relationship with, they say it was his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend or something, one of the mother of his kids. And I don't know if you know anything about him, but his
Not
first
really.
his first charge, he had this charge before. And I heard his cousin say, and again, I understand little one way of thinking, but bro, guilty is guilty, no matter how you try to swipe it. So in the first instance, the one that he actually was found guilty on and did the 6 years, this was like early 2000s. It was his publicist, a stylist or something. She stole money from him. That this is all documented. She stole money from him. When she stole the money, his get back on her was to get on your knees and make it better. But not only for him and two of his homeboys. And I think one of them was the bodyguard too, the other dude that I be seeing on the interviews. But he don't tell that story because I hear him bashing Master P all the time about P didn't take care of him. But he don't talk about that SA charge. But that's what they got charged with. So the little cousin was basically saying the get back for the first charge was because somebody did something to him first, which I understand, but you still don't do things outside the line and think that is okay. If you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back, but I can't take something from you and you say, okay, I'm gonna get it back in a sexual manner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what happened the first time. And then the second time he was accused, it got dropped. He was in Shreveport somewhere, I think. And now this is the third time that he was accused of that. And now, because it's the ex, they are saying that it's similar to the first situation where the ex did something to him first and he forced himself upon her in retaliation.
So it's kind of like his go-to.
Yeah, like I'm gonna overpower you and shame you for what you did to me. Now, again, I'm not saying what they did to him was right because it wasn't. But in the same
I mean, well,
token,
it doesn't compare. You can't force
right,
yourself onto
right. That's what I'm
someone.
saying. Right. That's exactly what
But
I'm
like
saying.
it's never okay. You can't,
So,
you know,
yeah, but I wanted to hear from
can't kill somebody for stealing.
a
So it's just like I
right,
get it, a sin is a
actually.
sin, but no.
I'm like, I
You know?
want to hear from a woman's standpoint. That's why I was like, let me break down the picture to you of what actually happened. So
Yeah. Yeah. Seems like he's just not a good person.
yeah, he's fighting demons too. They said from when his sister was killed. And like I say, I get all of that, man. New Orleans, I love my city, man, but it's a demonic place. Everybody's dealing with trauma in some form or fashion. People
Yeah, but
dealing with
everything's
it
a
differently.
choice. Everything's a choice. You can't always blame the things you do or the evil that you do based on trauma. We're all adults at some point in life and it's up to us to make the right decisions. So I don't buy that.
Okay.
Lil Boosie also being accused for sexual assaulting
Right.
a
But
girl when she was 5.
and it's
What's up with
another
that?
one that I say, even if because I hear the girl getting bashed a lot in the interview. So I say, even if it's a made up story or whatever you want to say, you have to allow her the chance to speak. Now, I don't know if he's guilty or not because he haven't been to court. So this is all allegedly, but you
Yeah.
still can't say, oh, I know for a fact Boosie ain't do it. If you ain't by Boosie 24/7 or know him personally, nobody
It's
can
just
tell
you
me
never
that.
know what people are
Right.
capable of.
So when they start talking to me from fan standpoints, that aggravates me. You know why? Everybody that know me know why, but so I get mad when fans jump on bandwagons without knowing the facts or even hearing the facts and disregarding. I'm like, let the girl talk. If she lied and it comes out later that she lied, then I'm sure it'll be consequences for that. Then we can talk about that. But until then, don't say 100% sure that you're positive that what she's saying is a lie and what he's saying is the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a reason to encourage women to speak up. I get it. She was a little girl and now she's older and now she feels like she has a voice and she can say things because it's more of a common thing now. and people are speaking up and not afraid to say, you know, what's been done to them. So yeah, may God be the judge of that, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So I got another question for you too, as a woman, right? And I know we always talk about this, but I want to hear it in like a different fashion because yesterday I was speaking to somebody, and I promised I won't say her name, but I also promised her that I would talk about it. So here you are, honey. Um, but we were talking about your favorite topic, where you always say is double standards of things a man can date multiple women, or he could sleep around with multiple women.
I've
It's
never said they can. I said that's what
no,
they
not
do.
right. Not that you condone it, but I mean, like, yeah, it's what they do, and it's looked at as cool, so to speak. Or he's a player, or he got all the women. And when the women do it, she's a horse, she's a slut, you know, all the colorful words that come with that. So basically, the
Yeah.
girl was telling me yesterday that women don't need men anymore, that women work, they make their own money. And basically, if men can have women for sexual pleasure, then why women can't do the same thing for men, and that she don't have to be tied down to one man. So I definitely wasn't feeling none of that. So as a Christian and an alpha male, I was like, women can't do what men can do. So I'm not saying even what the men do are right, but you telling me that you go and sleep with men for pleasure is the same as what the men are doing. No, it's not cool. Yes, you will be looked at as a slut or and all those colorful words. But you still can't do what that man can do of saying, oh, well, if he could sleep with 10 women, I could go sleep with 10 men and I don't have to be faithful to anybody. I'm going to just do me. No, you can't just do you. That's not how society
But
works.
you can. But you can. I think we live in a modern day. I think we live in a modern day world where um marriage is just not the end goal anymore. And as women continue to get an education and make more money than the men out here, we definitely work harder. We literally do everything, everything. And I'm speaking for myself. So I definitely feel like, I mean, sometimes I honestly, me personally, the end goal is just not to get married. Would I want that? Yes. Um, because the old school part of me still
Mhm.
wants to have a husband, still wants to, you know, be treated the way I should be and things like that. But it's just these men are just not like that anymore. These men don't commit, you know, all they do is sleep around. And sometimes for a woman that's busy and doesn't have time, it's all about convenience, you know? So it's just like, okay, I have my needs, let me satisfy my needs. And you have a good day and I have a good day. And you know, because I mean, relationships commitment that comes with more stress. Now I have to worry about another person on top of the things that I'm already worrying about, right? I got two kids, I work, I go to school, I have a small business. You know what I mean? Now I have to worry about him. Is he mentally okay? Is he mentally, you know, so I feel like a lot of women these days, it's more peaceful to be by yourself. You don't have to worry about, is he gonna call me? Is he cheating? Is he talking to other women? Is he only screwing me? You know, is he only using me for his needs? So I feel like yeah, and it's because men have done that. Men have ruined it for a lot of women. And so it's just like we put all of our trust in said man who's supposed to provide, protect, you know, and so, and when they don't do it and we're let down so many times, we get tired, right? We get tired of being put through the same cycle. Now we got to heal again. Now we got to wait a year or two, you know, to get our emotions back intact and to even trust the dating process again. Um, so I mean, I get why she's saying that. Should we do it? No. You know, I don't definitely recommend sleeping with 10 men at the same time. Girl, find your one. Find your one and keep your fucking peace, you know, because ain't nobody got time to be stressing over some grown ass man. And that's just me keeping it real, you know, like I'm not, you know, definitely don't sleep with all these men, unprotected sex and things like that. Girl, find your one and call it a day. That's my advice from a woman, from a single independent woman that does do it all on her own. That's the best advice that I can give to her.
Go find a relationship. Forget what CeeLo talking about.
No, our relationships are not healthy relationships. So it's like I can go get me a relationship, but is it going to be healthy for me mentally, physically, emotionally? Are you going to give me what I need from a man?
But are you willing to let go and let that man be a
I
man? Are you willing to
absolutely.
be submissive?
I think every woman wants a good man. Every woman wants to be treated respectfully. Every woman wants to be catered to. You know, like it's not I have not met a woman who says, I want to be with a man, but I'm still gonna be, you know, telling him what to do or running things and things like that. No woman wants that. No fucking woman wants that. You know, like we don't that's not our role. That's like you say, we weren't made that way. We weren't made to do a man's job. And like I said, it's just this generation, these men are just not doing that. And I'm speaking from dead ass experience. These men are just not doing that. And the men that do that, they okay, I'm gonna give you money. Okay, I'm gonna take care of you. But you don't get to question me. You if I came home, what time I'm coming home, when I call you. You don't get to question my broken promise. So it's like that's what I have to deal with to be in a relationship. Dude, I'm good. You know what I mean? I make my own money. I'm good. And that's what's out here. That's literally what's out here. So it's just like
When you go to work, do you tell your boss you're gonna come in when you want to come in, that you're gonna work when you want to work, or is
no,
the
but my boss
outline
isn't
already
out
set up?
cheating on me, lying to me. My boss isn't throwing me any lunch hour, nothing. It's right? You agree to be in a relationship. You're agreeing. That's why when you say be in a relationship, no, be in a healthy relationship.
I
Be
agree
in
with that.
a partnership. Be in a partnership. You know, you communicate, you talk to each other, you don't downplay each other, you don't disrespect each other. Pour into me like I pour into you. Be in that kind of relationship. And like I said, honey, if you don't find it and it's not out there, keep that one that makes you happy, that one that makes you happy, that satisfies your needs, and keep yourself reserved for when you are ready, for when you do meet the right person. Because baby, this ain't it. It's not it. It's not it. And I'm speaking from experience. It's not it. And I'm gonna
You
leave
have a
it at
soul
that.
tie, you actually open the door to whatever spirit is on that person. You see this conversation around fornication. Paul talks about flee fornication. And actually, it's interesting because that word is not just sexual immorality. Paul was actually making a reference to something that was very well known at the time. In Corinth, they had a temple to Aphrodite, who was the goddess of love. Wow. So when you talk about fornication, that's the word porneia, and it actually meant temple prostitution. So when you engaged in fornication, it was also an engagement of witchcraft as well, and idol worship. You see it in Revelation chapter 2 when it talks about Jezebel. What does it say? She teaches and seduces. They are actually engaging in a form of idolatry. But when you have a soul tie, you actually open the door to whatever spirit is on that person. Fornication becomes a bridge into whatever they're wrestling with. You know, a young lady, she'll fornicate and now she's dealing with depression. She never dealt with it before, but her partner was dealing with that.
Kiki Shepard passed away. Shout out to Kiki
Oh,
Shepard.
yes. Rest in peace,
Before
Miss
social
Kiki.
media, before red carpet influencers, there was Kiki Shepard. Every Saturday night, she glided across the Apollo stage in heels, grace, and full glam. But what you didn't see, the weight she was carrying off that stage. Kiki came from Tyler, Texas, a small town girl with Broadway dreams. She hustled hard, rejected, overlooked, told she was too black, too polished, too much. Yet, She kept going. With every no, she sharpened her yes. But the real battle was personal. Kiki watched people close to her suffer silently from sickle cell disease. It wasn't trending, no headlines, no marches, just pain. And she said enough. She turned her heartbreak into a mission, founding the KIS Foundation to fight for those forgotten. And then after 15 years at the Apollo, she was suddenly gone. No farewell episode, no flowers, just silence. The industry she helped elevate left her out of the spotlight, but not out of purpose. Kiki said, we must always fight to protect that little person that knows they are more than what the world has told them they could be. From Howard grad to Broadway star, to host to activist, Kiki didn't just survive the industry. She transformed it. And she did it with elegance and edge. Boomers remember her. Millennials grew up with her. But it's time Gen Z knows Kiki Shepard is the blueprint. If you've ever felt discarded, overlooked, or invisible, type "I'm still standing" in the comments and share this. Let the world know Black women don't fold. We pivot and we rise.